Good evening and welcome to this evening's events. What I'm going to do for you here is outline the types of courses and experiences available to young people in Dalkeith High School's senior phase. Now, clearly, the Scottish education system has changed dramatically over the years. But if we were to identify the biggest change, it's maybe the change from it being a system that catered for the few to a system where at least the aim is to provide qualifications and experiences suitable for all. Curriculum structures develop over time, responding to demographic, political and economic influences. For example, back in the late 70s, the early 80s, the job market had shrunk for S4 school leavers. So leaving school with nothing much more than an O-grade arithmetic, well, that didn't prepare young people anymore for life to come. I'll talk to you then about more than just national qualifications. So that's more than about the national 4s, 5s and higher courses that you're probably most familiar with. And I'll talk to you as well about a range of experiences and qualifications that are now available to young people. So what is the senior phase and what does it do? There'll be varying levels of experience in this room in terms of the high school curriculum. So what do we mean by senior phase as opposed to the broad general education? Well, in S1 to S3, young people are provided with just that, a broad general education. But when you move into S4 and then into S5 and S6, you choose what you like and what you're good at. And you learn much more about subjects. And what you learn takes you much deeper into the ideas, the concepts, and the theories. If you work hard, you'll leave with the qualifications that will take you on to the next stage, whatever that may be. And also, as you gain your qualifications, you develop the skills that you need, whether you decide to continue with learning or go into work. And skills such as problem solving, independence, and resilience are ones that will help you through whatever life might throw at you. In 2015-16, we reviewed the curriculum offer for S4 to S6. The curriculum required modernisation in order to meet the needs of an increasingly diverse group of young people who were staying on at school in larger numbers. It was needed to improve attainment and increase avenues for personal achievement. And it was also needed to provide pathways to positive destinations. The result was that in 2017-18, for the first time, all pupils in S4, S5 and S6 were coursed and timetabled as a single coherent unit, with all options timetabled. Greater choice, including more vocational options, was provided because the timetabling of 3-year groups together made class sizes more efficient. Young people could access partner opportunities without missing periods of other subjects, and attainment across a broader range of qualifications increased. Finally, pupils were better prepared for life after school. The next major development in the senior phase curriculum structure came last session with the move across all the Midlothian schools to an alignment of timetables. This meant the same start and finish times, same breaks, same period times. The hope was that the curricular offer across the schools would become more equitable, that the needs of all would be better met, and that there would be increased collaboration with partners and between schools. There was more change for Dalkeith High School than for most of the other schools because the period allocation for levels changed, so getting used to the implications of this has been a major feature of this session and last, for pupils and for teachers. For example, whereas before, hires were taught for 5 periods per week, now it's 6. And level 4 and 5 subjects used to have 5 periods, but now it's 4. The most marked changes as a result of MACO is the increase in the number of foundation apprenticeships offered and the expansion of the bespoke college offer. FAs and college I'll speak about further in a minute. Next session, it's hoped there'll be a digital offer, but discussions continue on that front. Here is the breakdown of the curriculum model for this session and next. Here's part of the option form for pupils going into S5 and S6. Because the period allocation for the levels differs, pupils have to be directed towards the combination of courses they can follow, and each line is a possible combination. So when you get your course choice form out, this chart will be on it, and you need to say to yourself, okay, how many hires or level 6 subjects am I doing? Okay, I'm doing 3, for example. So I look at line 3. Right, 3 level 6 awards. What else do I have to do in order to make up a full timetable? Well, I look along the line. I also have to take on 2 level 5 awards. Now, that doesn't fill your timetable, so therefore, you also have to do what we're now calling short courses or wider achievement awards. Right? Each of those are only 2 periods. And I'll come back to the wider achievement awards or short courses in a minute. Okay, a couple of words about something called the Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework, or SCQF. This framework is used in order to be able to compare the different types of qualifications on offer in Scotland. The SCQF will help you judge the difficulty and the amount of work involved in the different courses on offer. National 3 is level 3. National 4 is level 4, right up to Advanced Higher, which is level 7. And courses beyond school also are assigned a level. The National 3, the National 4, Advanced Higher, these are the courses with which you're probably most familiar. However, all other types of courses are also classified in terms of levels as well. So a level 6 NPA, or National Progression Award, should have the same difficulty and the same amount of work associated with it as a higher course. As I go on in this talk tonight, I'm going to refer to levels more and more. Please look on the SCQF website for further information to help you. A few miscellaneous points about course choice now. Young people are encouraged to study English and maths, basically until that person's potential is achieved. What you'll find is that in S5, certainly, not so much in S6, but in S5, most young people will continue with the study of English and maths, following on from the compulsory year of study in S4. You should note that in the senior phase that there may be the possibility that some travelling to another school or a college or some online learning might be involved, but this will be made clear to you. And finally, can I stress just how important making good reserve choices is? You'll be asked for 3 reserve choices. Please don't just put down any random subject. Think carefully about what your reserve choices are. Not everybody will get absolutely every choice that they want. Therefore, it is possible, it is likely that you're asked to study at least one of your reserve subjects. So bear that in mind when you're filling out your option form. Now on to the subjects that you can actually choose from in the senior phase. First thing to say is that if you're moving from S3 into S4, it is recommended that you choose your S4 subjects from the 11 you studied in S3. It is the case that there will be some work started in S3 on national qualifications. Therefore, if you're just coming to a subject new in S4, you will have a bit of work to do in order to catch up. So ideally, yes, choose from the 11 you studied in S3, but in certain situations, it could be okay to choose a subject that's new to you. In addition to those subjects, there's a whole host of new subjects and opportunities introduced in the senior phase from which anybody can choose. You'll see them on the display at the moment. Now, they're not all available in S4, but they are available at some point to you in the senior phase. So if you take a wee minute or two, you can see that there's, as I say, a whole range of new subjects that weren't available to you in the BGE. There are other ways to learn outside the classroom as well, through subjects run by teachers in the school, such as beekeeping and the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, or through taking on a college course or a foundation apprenticeship. And in S6, there's the opportunity for open university study. You'll get further information about that closer to coursing time. So if you're a person who likes to learn outside of the conventional classroom setting, there are opportunities there for you. I mentioned short courses a wee bit earlier. Short courses are a necessary feature of the new MACO arrangements. Necessary because pupils in S5 and S6 need to make up 30 periods of study, and some courses will run for 6 periods and some 4, depending on the level. The 2-period short courses are used, according to the grid I showed you before, to make up full timetables. The Schools College Partnership courses are provided by Edinburgh College and they run at their various campuses. We access courses at Midlothian and Milton Road campuses. The time taken to get to Granton and Sighthill campuses means that courses running there cannot be chosen by Dalkeith pupils. On-campus college courses run on a Tuesday and a Thursday afternoon. There are a few courses which run on a Friday afternoon. Bespoke arrangements also provide in-demand courses at locations convenient for our 6 secondary schools. A few courses are virtual and the times you study these courses can be more flexible. You have to be committed to take on one of the college courses. You won't be home until around 4:30 or after, and lunch can be a bit of a rush. And the virtual courses, where you don't travel to a college campus, require self-discipline and good organisation skills. But it's worth it if you want to do one of the interesting courses on offer. For more information on the courses available this session, see the college website. The college provision for next session is usually available for viewing late January. Next, foundation apprenticeships. Foundation apprenticeships are a work-based learning opportunity for senior phase secondary school pupils. They last 1 or 2 years and pupils begin their foundation apprenticeship in S5 or S6. The qualification is designated level 6, so the same level of difficulty as Highers. But the experience of undertaking an FA is quite different from studying, say, Higher English. The FAs focus on particular areas of the job market. Some of the time you spend with what's called a learning provider. That's where you get the theory connected to the employment area. So a learning provider in Midlothian could be Communities, Lifelong Learning and Employability, could be a school, or it could be Edinburgh College, could be an employer. The other type of input in the course comes from industry. You'll work in companies or workplaces connected to the subject of your FA, and you'll work with your experienced colleagues on real projects. We've had pupils working in local nurseries and care homes in Midlothian, as well as at Microsoft. So what do you get out of doing an FA? Well, from the quality work experience in teaching, you learn the essential skills and specialised areas that employers want. And even if you decide you don't want to go into the area in which you did your FA, the skills you learn and the experience you gain will strengthen your CV or your personal statement for college or university. If you successfully complete your FA and you want to go on to a modern apprenticeship immediately and leaving school, your FA will support your application and you will actually have completed some of the learning required for the modern apprenticeship, so you'll be ahead of the game. If college or university is your thing, the FA qualification is recognised by all colleges and universities. Just a wee word of warning there. If it was me, I would always check the university or college website for the specific entry requirements for any course in which you might be interested, or give them a phone. It could be the case that a university counts an FA as an entry qualification, but only if you're applying to study a course in the same area. So just double check to be sure. Here are the FAs running in Midlothian this session. Information about the offer for 26-27 will be available in time for course choice. Another course I'd like to tell you about is available for students in S5 and S6. It's a level 6 course and it's suitable for young people interested in the fields of construction and infrastructure, whether it be designing, managing or constructing the built environment. The course provides a blend of theoretical knowledge and practical work experience in local industries. This offer will be part of the MACO offer, so students may have to travel, but it will be within Midlothian. And as with the FAs, assessment is ongoing and there is no exam. The ideal student for the JIBE course is one who enjoys tackling complex problems and finding innovative solutions, and one who has maybe studied graphic communication or engineering science. He or she should be comfortable on computers and should have passed either Nat 5 Maths or Nat 5 Apps. One of the types of courses open to you in our senior phase is what's called a Skills for Work course. These are practical courses, they don't have an exam, and this kind of course will encourage you to practice the sort of skills that are needed no matter the particular job you do. So, for example, working as a team, using initiative, and so on. You can practice these skills by choosing courses that focus on quite different areas of employment. And you can see here the ones we're offering in school: early learning and childcare, hospitality, laboratory science, sport and recreation, travel and tourism and retailing. So quite a varied selection of courses for you. Another type of course you can do is one that leads to what's called a National Progression Award. Again, it's skills sought after by employers. But this time, what you achieve is linked to a workplace standard. So if you put these qualifications down in an application form, an employer will know exactly the sort of skills you have and the level of those skills. NPAs are available at levels 2 to 6. And look here at what you can do in school. Awards. These courses help you develop personal skills, the personal skills you need when you leave school, skills that will motivate you to be successful and to participate positively in the communities in which you live. And here's the opportunities the school offers. How will the coursing process operate this session then? Well, for pupils in S2, it happens before Christmas, just within the next few weeks actually. For pupils in S3, S4 and S5, course choice will take place in January and February, and further information about the mechanics will be given nearer the time. There's plenty of support out there to help. Take on board what teachers say in reports and at parents' evenings, and look at the progression routes they recommend. When the time comes, work through all the materials on the website. Don't just look at course names on the option form. Take time to explore the course descriptions in the option booklet. Pupils can speak to our careers advisor, Barbara Moyer, who you'll find in the hall tonight. And of course, pupils should always approach their pupil support leader whenever they require guidance. PSLs will be focusing in PSE on all matters course choice, so it should be easy to ask questions. And finally, take advantage of tonight. Every department has a flyer at their station outlining course pathways within school and giving inspiration as to where such pathways can lead. And every department is represented by at least one teacher, so take the time to talk to the experts about what they offer. Our hope is that the curriculum pathways evening will complement the spotlight session being held tonight and those running elsewhere in Midlothian over the next couple of weeks. Be inspired by what you see in the hall and then find out how to get there, or the other way around. That brings me to the end of the presentation. I'm around and so is Mrs. Ormerod for the rest of the evening, but do scan the QR code to leave feedback and ask questions. We'll prepare an FAQ in response to any questions asked, and we'll post it on the website along with the slides from tonight's presentations. Thank you for coming. Enjoy your evening.